Now they can hear me. We are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Nebula Theatre Fan Battle cast. Yes, your favourite show where you are able to submit matchups to us and we will debate them. My name is Saul, and we have Zoro.
Hello.
We have Shiv.
Hi guys.
We have, again, Comet. If you saw the last cast, Comet is our backup
Hello.
individual.
Yes. Hello.
So, today we are going to be debating Rosalina from the Super Mario Bros. Universe versus good old Master Eon from Skylanders. If you don't know the format of Nebula Theatre Fan Battle Cast, that's a mouthful, actually, I just realised. Nebula Theatre Fan Battle Cast. Nebula Theatre Fan Battle Cast. No, can't do it. If you don't know the format of Nebula Theatre Fan Battle Cast, we don't do normal 60 seconds like other podcast shows. We do a little introduction and discussion. Zoro, since you've got the more popular character, do you want to start? Explaining who is Rosalina?
Yeah, I'll take a
Oh,
crack
not
at
me! Oh, too big!
Oh, wait, what's going on?
I feel like Goldilocks. It's like, that's too big.
I see.
That's too small. I can click replace. See, we're all... No, whatever. You know what, just start explaining, I'll figure this out.
You can just drag people where you want them to go.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Thank you. That actually stalled me to get my little intro up. All right. Our story begins a very long time ago with a young girl. One day, this girl spotted a rusty spaceship holding a small star child. The star child ended up being a Luma, and through just curiosity, they ended up fixing the star child's spaceship and blasted off into space. There, Rosalina and this Luma had a bunch of great adventures. Although something happened, they were unable to return her back to her home planet. And this, of course, made the girl sad. But it wasn't all bad. She was surrounded by many Lumas. A lot of them would regard her as their mother. And so she took up helm at a comet observatory, looking over galaxies, watching just the natural cycle of stars and galaxies being created, exploding, reforming. For many years she did this, but always longing to go back to that family. Although one day, upon particularly looking at a certain scenario, she ran into this plumber and helped him and some of his friends in saving a Princess Toadstool against Bowser and his minions, who had caused some ruckus over the galaxy. And while it seemed like just a small detour, she kept finding that some overlap kept happening within this plumber and their group of friends. She'd occasionally join them on adventures, joining them for kart rides and sports, entertainment, and whatnot. And, even though she never really reconnected with that family, not only did she have her family of Lumas, but also this family of found friends. We're going over Rosalina from the Mario Galaxy game, one of the newer princesses from the Mario series, and one of the mainstays left in the Mario cast right now.
Is that it for you?
Yeah, I just wanted to do something short.
Okay.
There really is not a lot to her besides that. Just a lot of cameos, and she joins around every once in a while, so...
I guess I'll go. Greetings, Portal Masters, a phrase you might be familiar with if you have played Skylanders. I am representing Master Eon. But who is Eon? So, Eon kind of has two different continuities to go over. He has the show, and he has the mainline games and the books and stuff. Think of the show as like kind of like supplementary material, right? It has Mike Ehrmantraut playing a raptor, which is very funny to me. But basically, Eon used to be a normal individual who was getting kind of like trained by his old master, someone called Natty Bumbo, which is a hell of a name, by the way, so strap in if you don't know anything about Skylanders. Eon, like, they thought Eon was an ordinary boy. He was, like, polishing pans until he activated Plime said that he loves us all, by the way.
Oh.
He said, wish I could be there,
Aw.
love y'all. Aww.
Love you too, Plime, platonically.
I was about to say, I don't love him.
I love Plime.
Oh. We love you too, boss. And basically, he was like a regular boy, right? And then he accidentally activated the portal of power and teleported both him and his master to the Dirt Seas. So, because he was special, he became a portal master, which was like, basically the protector of good. There's this thing called the Core of Light, which is kind of the make-hold of the world against the forces of darkness, and he protected it against chaos. And his chaos is actually his son in the show. Crazy low drop. They don't really keep that for the game, but he would grow old and weaker with age. And they managed to defeat a thing called the Darkness, which is like the actual manifestation of evil. But that didn't stop Chaos, who used a Hydra monster to blow up the Core of Light. Master Eon, in his last-ditch effort, tried to protect it, right? So he got blown up, and the Skylanders got banished to Earth. Where all of us, as a Portal Master, has to use the Skylanders and bring them back. However, Eon wasn't dead, funny enough. He was locked in another dimension beyond space and time, unable to seemingly fully interact with the world around him, apart from being this giant big head sphere thingy. Looks a bit like the Problem Blob, but nobody's going to catch that reference. No, Comet will. Of course you will. Over time, Eon has proven his mastery both in supplementary material and books and stuff. Doesn't mean we're giving Eon anything that we Portal Masters have. We'll kind of talk about it in a little bit, Tropataku. But he is incredibly powerful. Even though his body is trapped between dimensions, he is actually still able to fight and use all of his abilities. He is very immensely powerful, has a crazy laundry list of hacks, has summons that probably just outdo everything that Rosalina can have, and is overall going to win this debate. Jerry?
I don't believe you.
Oh, well, that's not nice, is it?
Oh, damn.
So what can these guys do? Like, I guess, like, what happens if they're, like, in a fight? Like, if I was to, like, approach them in an alley, like, with a knife, what would they do? What would their move be?
Do you want me to take this or you, Zoro?
Let's go over Eon first, since want to kind of establish a few things, because in most of the games, he's just kind of like this giant floating head. So how does him being trapped between space affect Rosalina's ability to even, like, interact with him?
So Eon is actually able to interact... Oh, why is it doing this? Spotlight.
Hello?
Oh, there we go.
Hello.
We can still hear... Oh. Why was my mic turned off? Whatever.
You must have got lost in dimensions.
Yeah, literally. So basically, as you can see, Eon can actually exist as a spirit. He's able to just kind of Oogway Spirit Realm Legends of Awesomeness come back and use all of his powers, right? He's able to do everything that he wants. He's just a spirit at this point. So he's also, like, intangible to damage, right? Like, you can't really hurt him unless you can hurt spirits. So he's still able to enter this fight basically any way that he wants. Kind of to clear that up right away, right?
Yeah.
In terms of what he can actually do, there is a ton of different stuff. So, he is able to, like, just some basic stuff. He's able to create mist. If I do this, actually. There we go. Oh, wait, it doesn't make the scans. Oh, I guess I'll just do that then. Whatever. There's, like, he's able to just make mist when he appears and make it conjure away. He has had, like, a physical form for most of his life anyway. He's able to manipulate, like, fire energy blasts. He can, what else? There's a lot to mention right now. He can teleport people. In this section, he mass teleports a bunch of people, right? Which allows him, because he's a portal master, right? And being a portal master, you can do kind of everything with teleportation. You can send people away. You can bring people to you. It's kind of the bread and butter of Skylanders, and we become those portal masters, basically. He's capable of duplicating himself. So, within combat, which I also think is important here, is that Eon is very good at combat, right? He's been fighting against Chaos. I was going to do the joke again, but 3 times is too much. For a very, very long time. And the darkness and all of these enemies. And he's trained, basically, all the Skylanders to be better fighters. He's able to transmute you. One of the things he's able to do is transmute you into a sheep. He can also reverse his own transmutation or other transmutations if he needs to. Being a portal master, he is able to kind of manipulate time in its own way. And a thing called a motion lock, which basically, if you kind of look towards the bottom, Chaos tries to fire dark lightning. This is like power nullification lightning, right? But Chaos gets frozen and he's like, Glemshanks, I can't move. Have I been turned to stone again? And he's been like, he steps out, he's like, I am. And he is completely stuck. He is just completely unable to move. There's a few other things that he's able to do that I think is important. He can manipulate plants. He can create barriers. He has a kind of disintegration or like age manipulation. So if you look at the bottom here, Eon raises his staff, slams it like a pile driver. The cracks snare out and hit Chaos's protective circle, and all the thorns, bones, and bamboo crumble to dust, revealing the Portal Master. He's not actually useless without his staff as well. If that gets like taken off him or whatever, there is stuff that he's able to do, such as he did a similar thing with like his ranged attacks, right? He has, yeah. This is, I think this is the one. Yeah. Oh, my bad. I think of what else I can bring up that is casual right now. He's able to send people through rifts in space. So the portal of power kind of acts as like a dimensional portal between individuals, right? And Eon can do a ton of different things with it, including just sending people away through time if he wants to, traveling through time if he also wants to. His powers are like crazy. He's able to look into the past, and he's able to look into the past of timelines that shouldn't exist anymore or just don't exist, and see what's happening in that timeline. There's some other stuff as well. He has a really cool thing. We'll talk about Battlecast in a bit, because Battlecast is stupid. But he has an attack called Eon's Judgment, which damages every enemy on the field and restores 80 health to everybody.
That's a card in a card game. Is that really transferable to Eon himself?
Yeah.
It almost looks like Hearthstone.
It's very much kind of Hearthstone-y, PvZ Heroes type thing.
Oh, alright.
To my
And
understanding.
Eon shoot lasers.
Yeah. Yeah, you can shoot lasers out of his staff. I think that's kind of the basics to go over. But yeah, Battlecast is like... it's like a spin-off thing, and... Because kind of the canon gets weird, right? But there are, like, canonical of the... You know, the Trap Team villains? like they are there, and it's like when some of them are heroes and all that. So it should be fine to use. It's like a PvZ hero situation, right? Where it's like it's a card game, but everything that's getting placed down is like real.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Do you want to take it from here?
Makes sense. All right. I guess I can go into some of Rosalina's basic arsenal. Well, so Rosalina, like, she's a Mario character. A lot of her tools are going to be like very simple in her playable appearances. She does the running, jumping, stomping on Goombas and stuff like that. Because of her appearances in Super Mario 3D World and Mario Wonder, she has access to several power-ups, including the Fire Flower for fireballs, Super Bell for, more agility and ability to climb, Double Cherry for duplication, Boomerang Flower, and even some of the weird ones, like the Drill Mushroom, which lets her burrow through the ground and attack things with a drill, and the Elephant Fruit, which turns her into a giant elephant that she can smack around with tusks and get some more physical strength. Unlike other Mario characters, she actually has a few abilities unique to her own. Because of her inclusion to the Galaxy and in spin-off games where she makes an appearance, she usually adapts some of the mechanics from Galaxy into her moveset, including the use of, like, the Warp Star... No, not the Warp Stars. I'm thinking of Kirby. The Launch Stars, just to launch herself through space. She has a bit of gravity manipulation and telekinesis that she can use just to lift herself up and just throw around other stuff. And some of her tennis attacks, she's able to, summon a few meteors out from the sky, so she can kind of lift those around with her. She has some teleportation, just both short range and, just teleporting up into space and whatnot. And usually she's also just using telekinesis, just to throw stuff and, other stuff from Galaxy, like the spin attack that stuns people and stuff of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
Does she have access to all the Mario power-ups?
I could make an argument of that, but I'm not going to. I'm restricting the use of her power-ups from the ones from her playable appearances in her games, and there are a few I haven't mentioned just because they kind of get more into hacksy arguments.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're just talking about basic kit, her basic kit is more or less based more on, she's not really a physical fighter, she's more of a caster, using telekinesis. But one thing she is able to do is she's able to call upon a numerous amount of her Lumas to help her out. And these Lumas, upon eating a bunch of star bits, which she can kind of fire out in Super Smash Brothers, so it'd be useful that she, probably has some on hand. They can turn themselves into launch stars for maneuverability. They can even turn themselves into planetoids, and in some cases, even new galaxies, which are capable of Mario for exploring. One thing she's also notable for is shield generation. She can create barriers that can both defend herself and people around her, and they can get massive enough to even completely protect her spaceship, the Comet Observatory, which itself is just a cool thing in her arsenal. It's a giant spaceship that she can she can use her shield around the Comet Observatory and basically use it as a battering ram. Can you bring up Light Speed Shield Solos an Army?
Very specific name.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a very specific scenario because near the end of Galaxy 1, in order to get to the final level, they basically fuel it with a couple Grand Stars, and she generates a shield. The Grand Stars is just to make the comet, the Comet Observatory go fast, but basically she was able to generate this shield, and while going at approximately faster than light speed, she's able to just effortlessly clear through these ships. Like, this is an entire fleet of Bowser's army, and, like, they aren't even being, they just cleave right through the entire armada like butter, and some of them, like, she just passes through, doesn't even care about them, others get exploded in the way. So, like, this maneuver alone can just clear out an entire, like, armada of flying spaceships.
So she does
we
the
both-
hold-on maneuver.
Yeah, pretty much.
I was more thinking Charles from Henry Stickmin.
This is the greatest plan. Except this time it is the greatest plan because it actually works. And the Comet Observatory takes no damage from this. So this is literally just both a good show of her defenses and offenses. She can just ram people with these shields, not be harmed, but then obliterate entire other spaceships because of it.
I will say, I think the main issue here is Eon can teleport inside of it or teleport Rosalina out of it. His teleportation, in terms of like magical power stuff, I believe he's either directly comparable or has been stated to be comparable to Eon. Not Eon, to Chaos, sorry. And Chaos has a feat of BFR in someone across an infinite space.
Well, I think it's less about, like, she can create smaller shields that just encompass herself as well.
Right.
This is more just to show off, like, the durability of it rather than, like, the specific, like, oh, look at this cool durability thing.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
This is a very specific question that probably isn't super important, but like, is Eon like physically powerful? Because if Rosalina's a Mario character playing the Mario games, that means like she could like jump on heads and like do like physically comparable. She should have physically comparable stats to a lot of other Mario characters. Like, can Eon like physically do anything impressive? Or is it all like just his magic is that strong?
He should physically scale to some really impressive stuff.
Okay.
Like a stomp is not going to knock him down.
Okay.
Like I want to save stats for later because there's some.
I do have a question as well.
Oh my gosh, Connie, increase your volume like 10.
I don't know what happened. It's,
What's up?
I'm not sure. I didn't even touch my microphone. But the question I had was, just to be clear, so he's a portal master,
Yes.
like the person playing the game.
Yeah, like us.
And the person playing the game takes the toy and portals it in. When they take them off the thing, are they turning the character back into a toy? Because then technically you could make the argument that he could turn Rosalina into an amiibo.
I mean, like, yeah, technically, yes, that is technically what's happening. Like, shown from advertising and stuff, they are stuck as toys until... Because, like, the real world of Skylanders has, like, different properties to, like, the Skylanders world, right? That's why Eon can, like, reverse that transmutation and not, like, the real world transmutation.
Yeah.
But yes, technically the Amiibo WinCon is viable. Technically, I also have another funnier WinCon I didn't bring up until later.
Damn it, Comet, I wanted a chance.
I saw your comment, Shib.
Yeah.
I also
These people are very curious about the interactions between Traptamium. Is that on our itinerary to talk about?
a little bit later. There's something I forgot to bring up that's actually really important. So Eon can just I don't know if this is a scan. I named it Big Floating Head. But like in my profile picture, Eon can just exist as a big floating head, right? Which has no ties to his physical body. But he can still use a lot of his own powers, right?
So, like, is it his spirit or something?
No, it's kind of like I think it's more like a projection.
Oh, okay. So if like you cut his head off, that wouldn't just like
Yeah, no.
he wouldn't just be immune to. Okay, I gotcha.
Oh yeah, Germ stated that the reason Skylanders turn into toys is because they're stripped of their magic in Skylands. And as a head, he's still able to use a lot, if basically all of his powers. And like destroying this head doesn't matter compared to like his spirit form because it's not tied to him. You know, it's like a projection. So Rosalina really needs a way to draw him out of the fight, which is going to be hard because his dimension that he's in is cut off from all the Skylands, which means no portals, no rifts, none of your standard dimensional travel works because he's just stuck.
Interesting.
He can also
Does
protect.
that mean it like cannot be traveled to, or does it just mean like their means of transportation has been like?
I mean,
cut
I
off?
feel it's another dimension, and like their thing is traveling through the dimensions. I mean, if you know about the key under the rock, then maybe you can get in. But I don't see any other way.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. Rifts, portals, dimensional travel. None of that works to get Eon back.
So even if Rosalina like completely like defeats whatever Eon's projecting into the dimension this fight's taking place in, are we saying like Eon's just untouchable?
No. Eon's
or would we
head.
put like the
so,
real Eon in the fight?
No. So this head right now, you see in my profile picture, is just like a projection.
Yeah.
Let me find it. This version of Eon is his spirit given manifest. So if you destroy the spirit, that would be the Wingon.
Okay. So Eon doesn't even have a physical body anymore.
No, he does. It's just stuck in an entirely alternative dimension.
Okay. So we're saying just for this fight, we're not putting the physical Eon there. It is specifically
Really
like
wouldn't
the
make
spirit
sense.
of Eon.
Really wouldn't make sense for this matchup.
Like how some versions of Living Laser have his body suspended in the Light Force dimension.
Yeah.
But he has a physical form that can still be...
That's the first
hurt.
comic reference in a while that's made me feel like a LARPer. That's a good reference.
I'm a big fan of Iron Man villains.
That is, yeah, that's a very good one. Is there anything else you want to talk about, Zoro? Because I can talk about more stuff if you need.
I mean, as far as like general basis arsenal, like Rosalina's a Mario character. She doesn't have that much. I can let you get into more some of the hacksy stuff, and then I can talk about some of my hacksy stuff.
I kind of talked a lot about it, like dimensional travel, traveling through time, like a time rewind thingy, a motion lock, a lot of time-based stuff, right? I think kind of important here is that Eon, he wrote the Skylanders Spyro Adventures guidebook. So everything is entirely from his perspective, right? And his knowledge is very weird. He's aware of things like in-game stats, the elements, the achievements you can get. He is aware of like real-world parental things. Like he's aware if a child or a parent is playing Skylanders, because if a child is playing Skylanders, you have to go get parental help. I'm not even joking. This is a real thing.
So what I'm getting from this cast is both these characters enlist child soldiers.
Kind of.
No, from the real world.
What I was going to say is
with enlisting child Lumas.
There's a lot of children who watch versus shows, right? You've seen the average Ben 10 versus Green Lantern comments. There's a lot of children who watch versus shows, and if Eon is like, no, children can't watch this, then he wins because nobody will be watching Rosalina. Boom. This is actually important because it defines the level up system as like your experience, right? Like your Skylander level, and I'm pretty sure there's a statement. Germ is in the chat, so he can correct me. Eon's level is in like the 100s. So, and I mean like that's like level from like combative stuff, right? And like puzzles, and he has a lot more experience than the old man demeanor, or even the games giveaway. There's a few other things I could go over.
Wait, isn't the max level like 10 or something?
Yeah.
And Eon's level 5 billion in a world where like you're beating the game at level 10?
Yeah.
But does that just mean he's like he's millions of times stronger than any other Skylanders character?
Kind of. It kind of implies that. There's a few other things as well. Like I've already stated, he can duplicate, make tornadoes. It's a lot of the Rift stuff that's kind of important, right? Let's talk about support. And let's... I feel like I'm going to have to address it when we go to stats, but... realistically, Eon should have access to anybody that he wants in this fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
Any of the Skylanders. And this can include people like Spyro, Gilgrunt, Trigger Happy, there's a few important people here, and I'll kind of mention them here. So, Golden Queen is an antagonist within Skylanders Track Team. She's the big bad guy, right? And she ends up getting reformed in the next game as like a main playable character. Her whole thing is being able to transmute people into gold. Just from a touch. And in Skylanders Battlecast, she has a move that causes instant death. You just die. No durability, no health, you die. Right?
Does this work on bosses?
It's Battlecast, so yes. So he has access to a bunch of the elements, which are like air, water, fire, grass, tech, light, dark, all of that stuff, right? The cards of Battlecast are insane. I'm not kidding when they are stupid in what they're able to do. There's a ton of different hacks, such as I know you're probably going to talk about support later, right? There is a attack called Beam Splitter, which when the owner, which is like the player, or what would probably be in this case Rosalina, if she does damage to one or more enemy, every other enemy takes damage.
Huh.
There is like Beam Barrage, which is like a random attack. Ones that just deal damage to every enemy on the field, like mass damage, right? Do you want to talk a little bit more, because there's a few really hacksy ones that I need to find, because the website that I was using, I did not realize that it was using all Imgur, and Imgur was shut off in the UK.
Oh, yes, it was.
Oh dear.
So I had it up on my legal browser, and because we're on the cast right now, I can't go back into it, because I was like, I would just get stuff, but it's like, nope. Okay.
Hey, NordVPN, sponsor us.
Yeah, please. I could really do with a good VPN.
Or any VPN, really.
So do you want to talk about more hacksy stuff, or while I try and get my I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll try and find a
it'll be,
workaround.
Yeah, while Saul works on his workaround, I guess I'll comment on a few things and a few answers Rosalina has to some of these. All right, so first, when it comes to like the time stuff and aging, fun fact, Rosalina is canonically 200 years old. Like, it's not really explained why she can like survive this long, but like she can. So any kind of like time manipulation, there's some argument that, you know, if she tries to like out-age Rosalina with some hacks, that, you know, she lives for a long time anyway, so probably wouldn't have too much of an effect on her. Other than that, some of the other power-ups that I did not mention until now...
I found it! Sorry. I got really excited.
No worries. Are multiple forms, like, she has, like, 3 different forms of power-ups that just make her completely invincible, not only to damage, but just, like, usually stuff that would instantly kill her in Mario, such as hazards, spikes, and whatnot. These include stuff like the Mega Mushroom that also turns her into a giant and increases her strength, allowing for destroying everything. The Superstar, which we all know what the Superstar does. Rainbow Invincibility, go Burr. And there's also the P-Raccoon suit from Mario Wonder, which gives her infinite flight time and invincibility. So if there... Oh, go ahead.
Never mind, I answered my own question. Please ignore me.
Alright, you shall be ignored. So, if any particular enemy is really giving her a bother, like, say, a Golden Queen or anything, she could easily just a well-timed popped Superstar or Invincibility would be able to get her to tank through whatever they're doing and take them out quickly. And keep in mind, she also has the Double Cherry, which means not only would you have to worry about one invincible Rosalina, you're potentially dealing with up to like a dozen invincible Rosalinas, making it even harder to avoid them during the short time the power-up is active.
Okay.
Can Rosalina give Aluma a superstar?
I don't see why not.
So
And just
but
have that
I-
Luma running around.
I do have a funny counter right now. Funny enough,
Oh, go for it.
there is so the different elements and stuff. As long as there is a character of that element on the field, you can use that card, right? Otherwise, what's the point if every card was a specific thing?
Yeah.
Suction, abduction, steals items. So it is it's mostly like the artist Jetvac, who is a bird with like a poltergeist type thing, and you can steal items with it. So anything you could do, Eon can do better, quite literally, by taking it and using it. Which is so stupid in Battlecast.
What's more powerful, a vacuum or a black hole?
This is a
when it comes to
Skylander
suction?
one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's,
Oh yeah, that's another thing she can do.
Yeah.
In the new Mario Tennis trailer that she's in, she can just make black holes with her tennis racket.
there's a few other things as well that I think is important.
Go for it.
Sorry, I don't know if you were done or not.
Oh, I do have one more.
Yeah, cool.
Haxie.
Sorry about that.
Yep, that'll be the bubble flower from Mario Wonder.
Yeah.
And on the surface, it's a simple power up. You throw bubbles, it captures enemies, but all enemies that get locked into it get turned into coins. So she could potentially just trap anything that Eon summons in a bubble and just like completely nullify them and just turn them into gold.
Well, Eon can reverse transmutation, as I've already stated before, and can teleport people. So that's pretty useless. You know what isn't useless, though? Some of these cards, they're bullshit, I'm not gonna lie. Such as Finishing Blow, which, if you're under a certain health threshold, you just die. So there's a few of these which are, like, just kind of based on doing damage to an enemy, doing damage to, like, multiple enemies, right? A few of them, like, snare the enemy so they could trap Rosalina if needed. They can gain different spells. There's swapping in characters, so like moving them around and swapping them with individuals, crushing enemies, shocking enemies, doing like a chain shock, right, where if you shock one, it does like 80 damage, card numbers obviously, and bounces to every other thing, which might be very good here. There is some of them just like drain health, right? There is I think some of the important ones is there was one that I was just looking at. I'm so stupid. This is such a big list, by the way, I just want to say. So there
We do have
is
some. I didn't want to interrupt you. I was just saying we do have some questions from the chat, but it seems like I'm interrupting you, so I'll bring them up later.
okay. There's things to depower Rosalina's in a bunch of different ways. There's ways to lower her stats periodically over turns. There's one called Foreboding Curse, right? Which on the next turn, which turns won't really matter because this is a fight, right? You get set to 10 HP. That is very foreboding. There's Graveyard Grudge Match, which is such a cool name, which makes two enemies fight each other. There are ones which I think is important, which is I think it's draining the enemy for how much strength that they have. So you drain their health equal to their AP, which could be massively dangerous if you're very, very powerful, right? There's a status effect called Mute, which I believe mute. I believe it's like a power nullification thing, right? Where it's you can't use certain spells or gear, which would be very important here because Rosalina has spells and gear.
All right, you said certain spells and gears. Like, what are the specific spells and gears that it affects?
I think the only ones you can't affect is... Oh, it just says you can't mute your own characters. Which I guess that makes sense. Can't do it on yourself. There's ones to increase Eon and his allies' own power. There's ones for swapping enemies around. Like, this is some stupid stuff, right? There is, there's another transmutation one called Metamorphosis. I ask, are these cards something the Skylanders do themselves, or just random spells? They just seem to be random spells that, like, the player can use. Like I said, the card game is like an actual thing. These are things actually happening. Which, the one that I mentioned turns you into molten metal. Which is so funny. There's a few here that I think are kind of important for dealing with Rosalina, right? So there's Tangled Kelp, which is such a cool name, which specifically destroys gear. So destroys equipment. There's one that transmutes enemy gear into junk. There's a thing called Rusted Junk, which is just junk, right? There are random shocks, gaining spells. There's getting extra power. It's a lot of like buffs and then destroying your gear, giving the other person gear, crushing enemies on the front line, making them fight each other, swapping enemy positions, draining their health. There is a lot here, and the best part is just like, these guys can just use them as long as there's an elemental type of them on the field. So Rosalina's gear is going to be very, like, it's going to be useful because obviously she's going to be able to get a lot of it off. But a lot of what she can do, Eon support can do. And this is without going into what Eon support can do by themselves, right? This is just Battlecast. Like, there's some who are just really good at hitting intangible beings, such as, I think his name's Ghost Rooster. He's like the Ghost Freak, Ghost Rider one from the first game. Like, you can interact with spirits. There's a few of those squabbled in there. But this is an army of, like, every single Skylander released, which is at least, like, 100, all being able to do all their different hacks things, while you have Eon as a floating head using his hacks.
Sounds like he's got a pretty deep bag.
Mm.
have some,
well, I would like to bring something up.
Yeah?
I was looking into it a little bit. So, are you going to mention that Skylanders Battlecast takes place in a place called the Second Dimension, where conventional types of combat is impossible to do? Like, it sounds like this dimension and the spells within it are unique to this setting and cannot be used in a normal battle.
I mean, yes, they take place where regular combat can't be done, but I don't see why that would restrict the cards. Where in that does it state it amplifies other points of combat? It just sounds like that they used a workaround.
No, it seems to me when I read this that it's like a Chain of Memories Kingdom Hearts situation where it's like when you enter this place, you have to battle with this system.
You're making two different
work out.
You're making two different systems now, because you're saying one thing and then saying it's like this other thing. Like, there's nothing in yours that says that it like amplifies this other mode of combat.
I'm just if normal combat is impossible to do in this second dimension, so we use this alternative form of combat, it makes me I just don't see how then we can take this alternate form made for this dimension and then take it out of that context and then it works outside.
I mean, but the form doesn't just work in that dimension. It's just normal combat is not allowed.
This just seems a little sketchy to me.
I mean, you can say that, but also Eon can travel to the dimension. He can fight the fight on his own terms.
Wait, if Eon brings Rosalina to the second dimension, does that mean he has powers with the cards, and Rosalina having no cards has no powers?
Yeah, she'd have nothing.
Wouldn't she also get access to cards then?
No, where's your evidence for that? Where's your evidence upon entry that they gain access to cards? The thing that you have stated is that normal combat isn't able to happen, and you've added 2 different supplementary things to build up your argument. There is no evidence. Like, I will concede that, yes, normal combat is not able to happen in there.
Okay, well then, how did Eon get the cards? That's my question. Like,
I mean, if you don't want to argue, Eon has the cards, which he should. He's on the cards themselves, and I believe is part of the game. All of the other Skylanders has them. So it goes from one guy having them to, like, 60.
there's a lot of gaps here.
I feel like you're stacking things on top of each other to try and make an argument. If you take the baseline...
I think it's a fair question that based on the initial setup of making the card game work, they create a situation where they must do this card game as opposed to doing normal combat. But I would also need to see some evidence that these card abilities don't work under normal circumstances. So I think it's a fair question to ask. I don't know if it negates the argument all on its own. I think I would need more evidence to be like, oh, okay, so the cards won't work. But based on just what I've heard so far, it seems like the cards would probably work still, based on what we've heard so far. There's some chat questions, mostly about Rosalina, so I guess I'll be asking Zora a lot of these questions. Does Rosalina get the Wonder Flower?
I was actually saving that in my back pocket for...
Never mind, forget I asked anything. Does Rosalina get, like, extra lives?
I mean, I don't see why not. Like, life shrooms give her extra lives in the game, and it's like a physical thing within the Mario-verse, so she would have multiple ones. So, depending on how many she stocked up on, it's not going to be as simple as instant death, I win. You're going to have to do that a lot, in which each one, Rosalina is going to have more time to figure out exactly what Eon's deal is, and realize what she's going to need to do or bring in order to put him down.
And what is that?
Again, the aforementioned Wonder Flower that I was holding off until later because I didn't want to play my trump card right away because debates are really lame when you do that.
There's another question asking if Lumas are able to use the abilities of Power Stars or Grand Stars.
I mean, I don't think the Lumas would have, like, the same kind of power as, like, Power Stars or Grand Stars just because... Power Stars and Grand Stars are seemingly a distinction of star type compared to, like, the Lumas, which are, like, their own kind of, like, little thing. Like, the Lumas can turn into galaxies, and they can turn into launch stars. I don't think there's, like, a reasonable argument you can make that Lumas are equivalent to the Grand Stars, because if that were the case, they'd be able to power the Common Observatory without Mario having gathered them in Galaxy.
Okay. Apparently in the tennis games, Lumas can turn into warp stars and trees. So, you know, that turn into trees, that might shift the battle.
Huh.
Also,
I didn't know they could turn into trees.
Also, the thing about the second dimension, there's no... The law of the game is that Chaos finds this dimension, starts doing trouble, and they have to find an alternative way to beat him, which is just using the cards. So there's no...
Wait, is it...
Yeah.
Is it the second dimension because they're like 2D cards?
I don't think so. I mean, there's nothing in law implying that they're 2D.
Alright, fair enough. Never mind then. Sorry, that just like came to me as like a light bulb moment. Never mind. So, I guess where do we go from here? 'Cause we've kind of gone over a lot of stuff Eon can do. We like want to go into like stats. We want to go into like big like final argument artifacts
I
and
mean-
abilities.
I mean, we can go into stats, and then I can bring up the Wonder Flower thing people keeps asking about.
I mean, I think the Wonder Flower would be before stats because it's the last of your hacks. I don't see the point in jumping around to one thing.
Because we both know that stats aren't going to be a deciding factor in this matchup.
They might be, depending on how I argue it.
All right. I guess we will get into the Wonder Flower now. Yes, because she's playable in Super Mario Wonder, Rosalina would have access to the Wonder Flower, and this is a crazy power-up in Mario, because unlike normal power-ups where it's just like, oh, I get to this strength and whatnot, Wonder Flowers alter reality itself when you use them. These can do stuff like making the pipes turn aligned. Some of them are really harmless, like making piranhas like go la 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 in the background. But other of them can just spawn stuff like Wonder Hippos, or just completely change the terrain of the battle. This, of course, would be very unpredictable, even for someone like Eon. Just, imagine doing your thing, and then a Wonder Flower happens, and then your staff turns alive and starts dancing around instead of doing what you want it to. But this also has a lot of crazy effects, like it can turn people into regular enemies, such as a Goomba. All those Skylanders that you're sending after me, boom, they're Goombas now. And one particular one that I think is very relevant to Eon specifically is that there is one Wonder Flower effect that summons King Boo. And what does King Boo do? He is known for trapping spirits and souls into paintings. So imagine a scenario where they're fighting, Rosalina pops a Wonder Flower, and Eon's spirit form is sealed inside a painting.
So, a few things. Because that's a few things to go over. One, again, it would need to be... The transmutation thing, turning into Goombas, he can reverse them from being transmuted into sheep. I've stated this like 3 times now. Transmutation does not work.
Dude, I'm trying.
I've stated it 3 times!
What are you supposed to be?
There's just a lot of different transmutation in Mario. We gotta go over all. We gotta be thorough here.
Okay. Does Rosalina use the Wonder Flower in that specific way?
What do you mean?
Does she summon King Boo, like Maruaga?
Yeah, like she uses it and then King Boo appears.
Is he loyal to her?
I mean, she's able to avoid her. I'm just saying, like, this is just as detrimental to Eon as her.
Right, however, Eon can banish people through time and space. What is not stopping him from just, boom, goodbye, King Boo? Like he could do to the rest of her army.
Let's also keep in mind that the Wonder Flower literally just alters reality. Like, who knows what could happen when you do it?
That
like,
feels very no limits fallacy.
That...
You're getting into no limits fallacy territory where it's like, this thing has not been established, so there's no upper limit. Like, it can alter reality, but you're arguing a very specific way, so your thing could work exactly. Like, yeah, maybe the Wonder Flower could prevent him from BFRing. Maybe the Wonder Flower could completely kill Rosalina and disintegrate her from the molecular level and the spiritual level. Like, both are as equal to happen. If you want to say he can Maruaga in, there's also the cards that make enemies fight for him. So, okay, now you've got King Boo to deal with.
Okay, well, you're saying the no limits fallacy, but you're also going off to the assumption that these cards are actual spells instead of just a card game that people play because we can't fight regularly.
But they're not! The second dimension, it's literally just a tool that they bring in to use. You're arguing a no limits fallacy because the fucking Wonder Flower can do basically anything. Like, no, that's not, what I'm arguing is not a no limits fallacy. I'm arguing it with actual evidence, while you're making up something that it can do to prevent something. Eon being able to BFR people through space and time and being comparable to Chaos, who can BFR people on an infinite plane, distance-wise, should be enough. Again, those cards are only used as a tool. You have not shown any proof that the cards can be used, that the cards are only able to be used there, while, you know, the game itself implies that the cards are just tools that they brought in to deal with chaos. It's two completely different things. Morning Goblin says, I'm pretty sure the main characters in Mario can't use the Wonder Flower purposely, except, like, Bowser.
Why not?
Doesn't he turn into, like, a big ship?
Yeah, Bowser gets like the power up for the whole
Yeah.
game. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Mm.
he
I can't.
Yeah,
collects
like,
a
why
bunch
can't they
together.
So, like
if Bowser is
evil in
able to
his
figure
heart.
out how to use the Wonder Flower, I don't see how, like, no one else wouldn't be able to, like, you know, learn how to use it.
Yeah. Is there anything else to go over with that?
Not really.
Should we talk about stats?
Yeah. I'll take the lead, and then you can explain why the stats don't matter.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, also the Koopalins learned how to use it. If that motherfucker Roy knows how to use it, then Rosalina can.
Yeah. Which, you know, would get into more argument about how she'd be able to control the reality and, you know, do something that could help her out. But you know what? I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. Alright, so, feats. With the ship thing before, with the Common Observatory and just with her own teleportation across, you know, space that she's shown to be able to do in the Mario games where she's able to, you know, the tennis game, she's able to, like, teleport to space real quick and shoot down, like, tennis balls and comets from there. So, but with that, you know, she can, at the very least, even without the Common Observatory, she has enough speed to react to, like, light speeds, just because if you're driving a ship at light speed and not, like, crashing into things accidentally, I think you're good enough to, like, you know, react to stuff like that. And from, you know, just adventuring with the Mario Brothers and helping and defeating Bowser and whatnot, she would be able to scale to Mario, Luigi, or at least, you know, maybe not physically as impressive as Mr. Video Games himself, but at least downscaling from there, which can get her up to, you know, like, at the very least star level. And if you don't want to buy, like, the cross Mario chain scaling arguments, like, as mentioned before, she's able to produce black holes on her own, which, can you bring up, oh gosh, need to remember what I named these files. I think one of them's just black hole.
Yeah, bud, you got black hole.
Yeah. And this is a black hole at the end of Super Mario Galaxy 1, where, you know, as Bowser's Star Reactor just kind of blows up, it causes the entire galaxy that they're fighting in to collapse and starts sucking everything into a massive black hole. Moving on, can we go down to... Okay, I have to figure out what I named these darn files.
You have... I'll tell you, just because it's easier.
Yeah.
You have Surviving the Supernova. And then,
yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's do Surviving the Supernova.
Yeah, I don't know if I have your other one. I'll find it. So top...
I don't think the other one will be relevant, but this is basically her just explaining, hey, when stars die, they turn into stardust and come across the cosmos. Eventually, that creates a new star. A new cycle of life continues. This is just more fluff just to verify that, yes, that was a star-level super galaxy black hole. So, at the very least, that is star level. And the only reason why Mario and crew even survived that was because it is implied that Rosalina used her shields, the same one that covered the Comet Observatory. She used that to help soften the blows, and you can actually see some of the Lumas being sent in by her, you know, and you can hear them cry as they're going in. So, gives the impression that, you know, it is Rosalina's power that they were able to survive the entire galaxy being collapsed.
Mm.
And you can go ahead and do Is He Alive? I'll bring this up for, like, because I know some people will say it. I don't entirely believe it, but I'll bring the argument up just so that people don't say it. People will use this quote where she's like, yes, all new life, even all of you. People use that to imply that everyone in the Mario-verse died in that Rosalina recreated it,
on
and
that
that
Ben
she is
10 shit.
universal.
Mhm.
And that is, and I'm not here to argue that. I'm here to say she just said something about a star dying. Like, at no point does it imply that this is like a universal feat, except in like maybe one guidebook, and even then, it's like it threatened the universe, not it was destroying the universe. Like, it's very clear what happened was just a star collapsed, and then Rosalina helped them not get sucked into the blast.
Okay.
So, I guess the big TLDR to this is that as far as power and durability, it is roughly star level, and with, you know, the Comet Observatory and whatnot, she is easily able to get past faster than light.
Okay. We got a lot to go through for Eon. I'll get I was expecting you to go stronger. So the a little bit of cosmology background is that the Skylands is an infinite, endless realm, positioned in the center of the universe and can bring you anywhere in the cosmos, and is created and sustained with magic, right? So anything doing stuff. So basically, when the original Skylanders and Eon, because Eon survived, he was just stuck in that realm, survived the core of light explosion, it blasted the Skylanders across an infinite universe out into the real world, right?
Mhm.
So, basic universal stuff right there. He should be able to scale, Ian should be able to scale to all the Skylanders, and like Chaos. Chaos is like the other peak character in the verse who knows a bunch of magic. Chaos tanked the eruption of Mount Cloudbreak, and Mount Cloudbreak is a place that like the eruption provides magic to all of Skylands, right? And Skylands is an infinite universe. However, all of Skylands gets a bit weird because this, I believe, was this in Swap Force or Trap Team? It was in one of those, and every copy of Skylanders is its own world, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
So it's
So like a world like a planet or a world like a universe?
like a universe. It's
Alright.
it's described as like another realm, right? Which gets, I think there's about, if you so to calculate how many Skylanders universes there are, people have calculated the sales of Skylanders and like Swap Force, which gets to like 30 billion, you know, which is crazy. And of course, this explosion is providing it to all of these, right? There's a few other things that get you to Universal as well. The Swap Force crew can survive the same thing. The Trap Team people survived the explosion of Cloudcracker Prison, which was another thing that, I don't know why this happens a lot in Skylanders, but it was another thing that launched them through the infinite realm out into the real world. And there's another one of Thunderbolt's Traptanium Sword controls all weather in Skylands, and the entire world, which maybe you can imply is a planet, but like Skylanders doesn't really have, like Skylands isn't a planet as much as it's just infinite land expanding, right? So like our definition of world wouldn't really apply because there's not like a circular planet. It was like the weather was just in a certain, I think it was in an eternal winter until he did that. There's a few speed things as well. Characters in Skylands have been able to move in places where time just doesn't exist, which is stupid. It was thanks to a thing called the Tower of Time, which supplies the flow of time in Skylands and can control the flow of time. But the tower was like frozen, which means there was no time. There's other stuff that backs up this speed, such as the Leviathan Cloud Crab dragged Thump back halfway across Skylands, which, you know, you can't really half infinity, right? And I think I forget, it's the racer guy in Superchargers, I forget his name, but I think he raced around Skylands 3 times. So all in that kind of immeasurable range, right? Infinite, immeasurable. Skylanders get stupid.
I begin to grow tired of all these games with infinite realms that just make scaling samey. But it's the world we live in sometimes.
And anything Rosalina can do, Eon can do better, because Zora's been waiting for this, haven't you?
Yeah, just the
Hi,
hit me with an
Browser and Donkey Kong. So, you are Spitfire, thanks. You might be going, actually, Sol, the crossovers aren't standard. I'll have you know. Mario has a very loose timeline, and everything within this crossover implies that it's canon. One, these characters aren't native to Skylands. You know, like how Australian Crash Bandicoot and Cortex just kind of exist within Skylanders, right? These guys are just themselves, even to a point where, you know how all Skylanders have elements, right?
Yeah.
They get an element when they enter the world, which shouldn't be possible because you have an element once you enter the world, right? Like, if you were born in Skylands, you have an element anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So they should have an element anyway. It's also stated that they came here through, I think, like a Chaos Rift. Which there would be a lot of upscaling there because Browser and Donkey Kong are just regular enemies in this, right? They're just kind of regular masters who, being able to fight enemies in chaos, Eon should be upscaling. And at the end of the comic, Bowser and Donkey Kong are like, okay, we're going home now. And they leave through their rift, and even Chaos is like, oh, he vows to take over the Mushroom Kingdom, or whatever. So there's a lot pointing to this crossover being canon. This isn't the only time that a non-canon character was kind of pulled through a rift, I believe, which is the explanation, if I double-check my own research. It's in the cosmology stuff.
Yeah, that's how
Spyro
Crash
gets in.
Yeah, I think that's also the explanation for how Neo Cortex and Crash get in.
Yeah. But basically, Spyro does not come from Skylands. He was actually invited by Eon to become a Skylander. Also, the Darkness was stated it would destroy their home dimensions as well as Skylands.
Mm-hmm.
Alfie said, I'm voting against Sol for buttering Browser's name. I will call him Browser for the one I show speed clip when he's reacting to the Mario movie and he goes, Browser! And I laugh about that whenever I think of Bowser.
Mm-hmm.
So, at worst, it's like he's equal. At best, he is an infinitely universal, immeasurable being of pure floaty headiness.
Now, I do remember a bit about the debate between whether this is a canon crossover back when Donkey Kong versus Crash was a big discussion. I think one of the arguments against it was like, I think there's something where like they also worked as amiibos or something, but for like the Skylanders version on the Nintendo games. But these amiibos didn't work for like other Mario games. They were just considered like generic. So it's like there's arguments that like they are different versions of the characters and not the same version.
I think that would be weird too, because everything in the comic is implying that it's the main version. For like a toy to come out and be like, hold on, buddy, you're not the real, you know? It's looking at very second-hand sources against what the main material is saying.
Alright. There is also like some statements where like Nintendo told them to like design it to be different from normal Bowser, but I guess that would also be a similar secondary statement.
Also, there's also nothing to prove that's because they didn't want them to be canonical. Just design them different.
Yeah. I mean, a fun factoid is that originally, instead of like Magma Bowser, which is a transformation he gets in the Skylanders games, they wanted to use Giga Bowser, but Nintendo's like, no, think of something original. Go for it, champ.
Yeah. Also, like, yeah, but Bowser and DK do just fuck off, and it's Chaos's Rift stuff that pulls them through the dimension. So I'm not going to argue that Bowser or Donkey Kong could appear in this fight. I don't think I need it.
Is Rosalina stronger than Bowser?
I mean, in Mario Galaxy, Bowser has done stuff to her, but ever since then, she's been able to beat him in both Mario 3D and Mario Wonder, which you can do solo player, so Rosalina could do it as well. So I don't think she'd have an issue against Bowser particularly.
Where does Nabbit line in the scaling chain? Sorry. I forget that he's like playable. So like, and isn't he like invincible? Can he like not? Why does he upscale Mario?
I think Nabbit's like the Mario's versus like gag character.
Oh, is he like the Ali to DBZ?
Might be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is this the same series matchup?
No, I wouldn't say so.
Like if they exist in the same continuity, then.
I guess.
I mean,
but
continuity loosely, they came in from another dimension.
Yeah.
It's literally a crossover.
It'd be like saying Cyberman versus Borg is the same series.
Yeah,
matchup.
exactly.
Yeah, or like.
Well, is the
frickin'
Cyberman versus Borg like a canon crossover?
Two crossovers, I believe.
yeah,
they
two
got.
Yeah, it could work as a canon crossover episode.
Interesting.
Yeah. But you wouldn't use that because that absolutely kills the debate of that matchup. Because Cybermen are just shown to outclass Borg in every fucking way.
In like a second.
Yeah, in like a second of meeting them.
So, what debate are you referring to?
Cybermen versus Borg.
Oh.
But in this case, it's fine to use for the debate.
Yeah,
In this scenario, it doesn't ruin anything.
It either equalizes stats if you don't believe Eon gets that high, or I don't know, it's a funny thing to bring up.
I guess in this case, it brings a Rosalina up to the Skylander stats.
I thought you were going to argue her remaking the universe at the end of Galaxies, or
I knew I would get torn through the coals for trying to argue that.
okay. Yeah, Bowser was also going to be given a magic element due to him being more of a magic user, but they decided fire, so it'd be easier to understand. Yeah.
The 4-year-olds that play.
Do we? Oh, but Eon can prevent those 4-year-olds because he knows when he can stop the. That's such a. Hang on, everybody, wait, hold your butts, because I swear I can find this scan.
Mm-hmm.
It is so stupid that I need to show everybody. Like Eon has a bunch of like knowledge on these things, right? So somebody talk.
Din is beatboxing in our chat.
Someone time him out. It's also stuff that he knows, like, every chapter of the game and refers them to chapters. He knows the bonus areas. He knows what the Skylander website and the blog is. This is another Ao only sits down and researches his opponent type deal, but it's Eon. Here we go. Hang on. This is so funny to me. He knows about online safety. He's like, for kids at Skylander Spyro's universe, you can play games, read blogs, learn about new features, and have comments to let us know here. Here are some tips to make sure you are always online safe. This is all written from Eon, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
What if Eon says to all the 9-year-olds watching Nebula Theatre, greetings, Portal Masters. Vote against Rosalina.
If we did this as a Nebula Theater, would we make Nils and Nick Portal Masters?
Yes.
That sounds really fun.
Do we have? Oh,
maybe not both of them, but one of them would be funny.
Make the other a princess.
Hell yeah.
The other one's just a Luma.
Alfie brings up that there's an immeasurable argument from the story skulls written by Captain Flynn. Flynn is known to exaggerate fucking everything about him, right? Yeah. I would not trust that man as far as I can throw him. What happened to Eon's body? Shut up, Pin. You should have been here earlier. That was like at the start of the discussion. Do we want to get into final arguments?
I believe we've gone over everything I needed on Rosalina's side.
Yeah. Zora, do you want to go first? Because Rosalina's in the title.
Yeah, I'll go first. Okay, so my argument is that Rosalina definitely has a shot at winning this with her numerous amounts of live mushrooms, invincibility power ups, and her Lumas to kind of help tank hits for her. There is no doubt in my mind that she'd be able to stall out long enough and at least just figure out how the Wonder Flower works and get a scenario to where she can help take down Eon and his lots and lots of hacks.
Okay. Ah!
You okay?
I was too big. Greetings, Portal Masters. Time for my verdict. So, at worst, they
Your
are...
verdict.
Yeah, this is my verdict. This is who I think wins, and I think it's Eon. This is my final argument, which leads into a verdict. Technically the same thing, actually. Get that smirk off your face, purple guy. But, basically, at worst, they're equal in stats. I mean, I guess at best, at worst, Eon is on an infinitely stronger scale and an infinitely faster scale. He is way more experienced, has a lot of weird knowledge, has way better support in Skylanders that can fight the Lumas and really put Rosalina on the back foot. He has ways to completely nullify her durability and lives if he needs to. Stuff like, instant death, can knock that down, transmutation. The stasis lock is a big thing, being able to freeze Rosalina, doing a Ben versus Hal and time traveling to the past and dealing with Rosalina, who we know is a canonical baby. It does exist. Rosalina doesn't really have a good win con, in my opinion. She kind of Eon does not need to be in this battle unless he feels like he needs to be, and I think by then he would just get the win. He's strong enough, he's fast enough, he has all these abilities that I mentioned. I think Rosalina is not going to take it. Sherm.
Did you put up the poll?
I'm doing it now.
Alright, so at first I was gonna say, well, it sounds like Eon just infinitely blitzes and one-shots, and it would have been like a no-diff for Eon. But then Saul very respectfully and courageously argued that they are the same series, and thus Rosalina would also benefit from Eon scaling. So now it's actually a really tough decision. I think Rosalina has a lot of very interesting advantages. I think generally the way that Zora was arguing and describing her gravity manipulation telekinesis leads me to believe like that would be generally more effective against a lot of Eon's more specific spells. I think the Lumas potentially having access to their own things like Power Stars, if they do have a similar stats to the Skylanders, would be... I think the Lumas would tend to beat the Skylanders on average via their own Mario power-ups, which is also very impressive. So I think like Rosalina has a lot of advantages in the fight, and I think especially Wonder Flower offers her a level of easy versatility that Eon might not necessarily have as much access to. But I think the big thing that is going to make me vote for Eon over Rosalina is that Eon seems to have much more experience than Rosalina. Because apparently the level is based on how many battles you fought. So if Eon has been in billions of fights before, then he would have a lot of good strategy against Rosalina and would be more... He would be in a position to pick his win cons easier. Because he does have, as we've discussed in this cast, he does have counters and ways to put Rosalina down if stats are equal. So, but I think I would say equal intelligence, equal experience, I would actually favor Rosalina. But due to Eon's experience and intelligence, I will vote for him this time.
Yay. Comet, you're up.
Yes. Well, One interesting thing I did notice is even if you put them in, like, say, like same universe scaling, Donkey Kong and Bowser were only put as like standard bosses, not on the same level as Eon, who just like as it was all the way back at the start, but he has a lot larger level, if I recall correctly. So I think he'd still scale above, actually, even if you did same series scaling. And at that point, I do think, even though Rosalina can stall out for a while, she's running on one Wincom, which we don't know if it would fully work, because it's very random, even when they do try to make it work. So I'll probably have to give it to Eon, because he's just got a lot of stuff and experience.
Not to interrupt the format, but I thought like Rosalina had like multiple win cons. Where she could just like.
Well,
I thought like if you were just
like
strong enough in Mario, you can just kill ghosts.
Well, that's Mario Ghosts.
It's
the
chat vote is a tie,
essentially.
a pure 50-50. So chat seems to be very split on this. As a debate, but Eon and myself have won.
Well, I would love for it to be a not a sweep. I will say before it was a tie and it was just 11 votes, Eon was slightly ahead.
Somebody did click.
If we had ended the poll a couple seconds earlier, it would have been 3 votes for Eon.
Yeah. So, this is an interesting matchup. I think it's really fun. It's the only Rosalina one that I think actually delves into her bigger character and isn't just space mommy, right? That's what a lot of her, like a lot of her popular ones are just.
It's pretty interesting
mommy.
As far as same series matchups go.
I wouldn't even call this same series.
This is not a same series.
Yeah, stop it, Sherm.
This is a fun one. Yeah.
You have no idea how much I had to scrape to find good arguments for Rosalina for this.
I was gonna say
I love this matchup, but she is so freaking screwed, man.
I was gonna say his existence as a head means that even damaging spirits doesn't matter. Like he actually has to enter the battle.
Can I ask a question, or are we trying to like end the stream?
I would like to end it soon, but you can ask.
I was just wondering, like, if we assume that, like, for whatever reason, Mario's stronger than Skylanders and cross-scaling isn't valid, does Eon still win?
I would say so,
if, like,
yeah.
Rosalina's faster and stronger?
Yeah.
He just, like, out-axes her?
I don't see a world where she would be faster. I just see a world that they would be equal speed.
Yeah.
Because they both would be immeasurable at their best.
Alright.
And, like, it would just be a thing of, well, Eon's head survivor. Like, Zoro had nothing really. No offense, Zoro. You had nothing. Because, again, it's kind of ended the debate now. You kind of had nothing against the motion lock, which completely freezes you. Right?
Yeah.
If that got hit on Rosalina, then, like, he could just start taking out her lives, right? It would just be a thing of, boom, instant death, boom, transmutation, boom, instant death, boom, boom.
I mean, would
boom,
the lock
boom,
work?
Yeah, but you'd have to kill Rosalina like 99 times.
And you're thinking he couldn't do that?
Unless he vacuums up all her one-up mushrooms so she can't use
I mean,
them.
yes, there's also the thing of, like, stealing and corrupting her items, right?
Yeah. I mean, the debate's over. Like, I kind of figured going in that I was probably going to take an L, but, like, I wanted to at least present Rosalina in her best light and try to make some people, think about it, which I got 50% of the audience vote, so I think I did that much.
Yeah. So next time, tune in on the 21st for another NT cast. Not the debate one, the NT cast. Where we will be going over, this is the one that stuck to the schedule, who should Spider-Man fight? We're going to have me, we're going to have Sherm, we're going to have Zoro, and we're going to have Jobber. So if you're interested in the web slinging, hash slinging, no, that's a different series, individual, then please come along.
Talking to the people who are watching this as a VOD and not live, Let us know who you want to see Spider-Man fight in the comments, or let us know if you like Rosalina versus Eon, or if you like other options for these guys.
And if you have a debate that you want us to do yourselves, pop over and get a membership. They really help support the show, and they allow us to do stupid research, such as me looking through Skylanders. You can submit whatever you want, and we'll end up debating it down the line. So pick up a membership, keep your eye out for things, and thanks. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.